That's what we need.
Chapter number 19, verse number 19, James 1:19. We all know it, but a lot of times we do this backwards. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man, not just saved, every man, be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. We do that backwards. We're quick to wrath, fast to speak, and slow to hear. And we choose offense because that's the pattern that we follow. Well, if we would just stop and hear first, and be quick to listen, and then slow to speak, we're ready to respond immediately. We're ready to jump right on it and have a quick response because we feel vulnerable if we don't. But following this pattern, if every man were just slow to wrath and slow to speak, we would choose offense a lot less abruptly, and we'd be able to get to those types of resolutions, and we'd be able to do so in manner. Because the next verse said, "For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of God," and that's for us, those that are supposed to demonstrate the righteousness of God. We can't do it because we're so quick to wrath, we're so quick to speak, and so slow to hear. And if we would just do more listening sometimes, and do more confirming. And sometimes what I did learn corporately is that if you would just actively listen, repeat back what you heard the person say to clarify. I found this to be true in relationships, in marriage, in dating and circumstances. Just before you respond, be sure that what you heard is what was actually intended, and give the person a chance to fix it and clear it up. No, what I meant to say was X, Y, Z. And if I have the opportunity to fix it, maybe I can head off the enemy and head off the offense before it happens and get on to doing kingdom life.
Right. That's good. That's good. Hey, we have another Skype, but before we go to that, can you guys write this question down? I want to know with the spirit of offense, do you think that has a lot to do with the childhood, the way you were raised? I know that a lot of people talk about that, the way that they were raised, that maybe daddy would say a certain thing, or mama would say a certain thing, so when they get older and an authority says something that kind of like reminds them of mom and dad, then they immediately get offended. So I want to talk about that a little bit right after this Skyper. We have a Skype on, so can we... Yes, we can hear you. Can you back up from your computer a little bit so we can see you and kind of center it?
Is that better?
To your left.
Right. There you go.
Great. Hey, and go ahead and speak. Just tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Brian Williams. I'm calling from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm actually visiting home for Thanksgiving, but I actually reside in Dallas right now. And I was calling in because I was, of course, listening into the conference, and for me, I have experienced the spirit of offense in my own life in a way that really drastically affected my course of life. I believe that the spirit of offense is one of the greatest enemies to the church in this present time, and it's one of the reasons that we see so many church closures and even as much church plants. And now I know that inside of the church we have to be careful when we give positions to people, because as Pastor Key said, sometimes we come from backgrounds and offense doesn't look the same to everyone. The permission or the idea or the ability to offend someone sometimes comes with familiarity. Thinking that a person may need you or that you're just that beneficial to an environment. And I had that mentality because I never had the opportunity to be close to a leader in that way. So I used, I guess, that accessibility in the wrong manner. And one thing I was reading was Proverbs 19:11. And it says, the B clause says, if his glory is to overlook an offense. And I was thinking to that, and I said, if it's glory to overlook an offense, then it's definitely grief to get under it. And that's why when an offense comes, you find yourself off track in such a way your vision becomes off track. Your attitude, your courage, everything becomes off track when you're operating in a spirit of offense. And I've noticed that once I became offended, every piece of instruction looked like a prison. I thought I was being held back. I thought when my pastor told me take a seat for 6 months, that it was saying, no, you can't do this, or it was controlling, but it wasn't. It was allowing me the opportunities to deal with the offense and not let it fester and grow. And I don't think a lot of us have that experience until we come into a church where we're held accountable for our actions, and we have a pastor who cares about us enough to say, hey, it's time for you to sit down. You may be getting a big head, or you may be getting ahead of yourself, and it's never out of punishment. I believe that it's always preparation. And when offense is not addressed, I realized in my own life that it partners with the ego, and it gives birth to rebellion. And when you're operating in a season or a place of rebellion, you don't acknowledge the authority of others. And I've realized that even what you plant in seasons of rebellion eventually rebel against you. Whether that be a ministry, whether that be a relationship, the things that you plant during rebellion will rebel against you. And offense, as I said, kills your discernment, it kills your judgment. It will make you feel like you have something to prove. So you then move out and you start planning things that you can't preserve. So it'll make you, start a ministry that you're not graced to start. It will make you move to a state where you wasn't called to move to. It'll have you running away, calling your leader Saul when he's really not. You're just rebellious. And I was in that state. So I wasn't David. I was more like Ahab running after Elijah. Out of order, operating in the wrong spirit. And I needed somebody to come and say, hey, what you're doing is wrong. And so that was just the things that I experienced from this, as you all were talking about the forum and the spirit of offense. That's things that I experienced in my personal life that I can share with you all, that may help you submit to leadership, may help you understand your true purpose and role, help you understand that advice is not a prison. It is just someone saying, I see something that you may not see. Take heed, pay attention, and allow me to guide you. And so that's the things that I wanted to share.
All right. Man, thank you, Brother Brian from New Orleans. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey,